Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. You probably clicked on this video because you don't want to catch a brick. And even if you don't know what catching a brick is, you know that it's probably not a good thing. But in this video, what I want to do is to offer you 5 quick tips for not catching a brick. And a brick is essentially a bad deal. You don't want a bad deal. It's not a good thing. So the first tip that I want to offer is to do your research. If you are about to buy a comic, take some time, do some Google searches, figure out what it is that you are about to buy, because you want to go into the deal with as much information as possible. And thankfully, there is a ton of information online and in apps that will allow you to be much more informed about the book that you are about to buy. Tip number 2, while you're doing that research, make sure that you take a look at a pricing guide. That will tell you a lot about the book that you are about to buy. There are a lot of great apps out there, but you definitely want to take some time to look at an actual pricing guide, preferably one that is online and that is updated on a regular and consistent basis. Because of the market that we operate in, the market is very dynamic. And so you want to make sure that you're looking at a guide that is up to date, that reflects the dynamic nature of the comic book market. You want to find out, what is this book selling for right now? What are the most recent sales associated with this comic? All of that information goes a long way towards helping you to figure out how much you want to pay. And it doesn't matter whether it's a raw book or a graded book. There are pricing guides out there for both, and both will put you in a much better position to buy that comic and to not catch the brick to the face. Tip number 3, learn how to grade. And I will tell you, when I first came back into comics after being out for a couple of decades, I thought grading comics was an incredibly daunting task. But it's a worthwhile task. And the more comics that you touch, the more comics that you try to grade, the better your grading will be. The better your grading is, the better position you'll be in to evaluate the book that you are about to buy. If you can grade it, that means you can price it. If you can price it, then you won't catch that brick. And if you need tips on how to grade, there are videos on my channel that will show you how to do a dirty grade. Tip number 4, shop around. Do not buy the first book that you see. That potentially is one of the worst things that you can possibly do. If you've identified a book that you want to buy, and you know that it's raw or graded, and you know the approximate grade if it's raw, you want to take some time to look around. Look online. Look offline, look in some of the apps. Try to find a book that meets the criteria that you have within your price range. If you buy the first book that you see without shopping around, there is a very good chance that you will catch a brick. Because I can tell you, as I look around at different books, I can tell you for a fact that a lot of books are overpriced. But if you follow some of the tips that I highlight in this video in terms of doing your research, using a price guide, learning how to grade comics, you will be in a fantastic position to be able to snag the right book at the right time. The last tip that I want to offer to you is to think before you buy. As a person that has a bias for action, I purposefully have to slow myself down. I purposefully have to set my emotions aside and to really think about what it is that I am about to do. Because if I don't do these things, then I will make some really poor decisions and I will catch that brick. So you have to think about what it is that you are doing. The notion that the book that is in front of you is the very last book and that it's never going to be offered again is not factual. That is not the reality. But that is what we feel inside when that book is in front of us, either online or in person. We have that pressure that if I don't do it now, I won't get it. It's not true. Slow it down. Think about it. Then pull the trigger. So there you have it. Those are my 5 tips for not catching a brick when you are buying comics. If you enjoyed this video, I want to encourage you to hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment behind so we can mix it up in the comment section. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.